In what can only be described as one of the most unexpected and shocking twists in recent hip-hop legal drama, Lil Durk's freedom may now be completely off the table after sensitive information he reportedly gave to undercover cops about a deadly murder-for-hire plot was leaked, jeopardizing not only his safety but also any chance of early release. It's the kind of headline that makes you pause, makes you blink, makes you ask, wait, what? But yes, it's true. The same Lil Durk who had been inching toward a legal breakthrough, the same Durk who had industry insiders whispering about a pending release, has now been thrown into the center of a storm so intense it could destroy everything he's worked for. And the most jarring part? It all started with words. His words in the wrong hands. Let's rewind. The court saga of Lil Durk has been complicated from the jump. He's no stranger to the legal system. From the early days of his career, his name's been connected to Chicago's street scene murky past and whispered affiliations. But in recent years, Durk had taken on a new image. Father, businessman, label head, global artist. He was evolving, maturing, trying to rise above the chaos that had once defined him. And it seemed to be working. Behind the scenes, his legal team had been grinding, carefully navigating through court documents, testimonies, cross-referencing evidence, all in hopes of securing his release. Word started to circulate that they had momentum, that prosecutors were open to negotiation, that the judge was beginning to lean ever so slightly toward the idea of probation, or at the very least, time served. The energy around Durk was hopeful, but somewhere along the way, that hope mutated into disaster. Sources from inside the court's inner circle say Lil Durk made a colossal mistake. He spoke, and not just about anything. He allegedly opened up to individuals he believed were there to help him, people who presented themselves as legal allies or investigators with an interest in getting to the truth. But as it turns out, they were undercover law enforcement, set not to assist but to infiltrate. And what Durk told them wasn't just damning, it was explosive. Apparently, during the course of their private conversations, Lil Durk disclosed details about a murder-for-hire plot that had been swirling in the background of his case. It wasn't clear if Durk was a target, a middleman, or simply someone who'd overheard too much. But what he revealed was serious. Names, dates, how it was funded, the motive behind it, and even how it was being covered up. To the undercover officers, this was gold. Now, here's where the story hits that critical twist. This information, meant to be confidential, sealed, and buried deep within the logs of ongoing investigations, was leaked. How? Nobody knows. But what's undeniable is that it's now out in the wild. Certain names mentioned in that murder-for-hire conversation have surfaced online. Gang forums, Reddit threads, even cryptic tweets from burner accounts. Everyone subtly seems to know what Durk said, and everyone seems to have an opinion. And as you'd expect, the streets aren't taking it lightly. Because in that world, whether you meant to snitch or not, talking is talking. Whether your motive was fear, protection, or strategy, saying too much can cost you everything. And in Durk's case, it's already started to unravel. Word has it that associates once aligned with Durk are now distancing themselves. Some are going underground. Others are being questioned by police. Some are even said to be planning retaliation, furious over what they see as a betrayal, not just to the code of the streets, but to their own safety. People are calling him a liability, a ticking time bomb. And the most terrifying part? Durk never even saw it coming. Sources say Durk is now in isolation, not as punishment, but for protection. That's how serious this is. His own team reportedly didn't see this coming. They believed the conversations he had were part of a deal, or at the very least, off the record. But now, everything's been flipped. The prosecutors, who were once showing signs of compromise, have backed away entirely. They're now doubling down, arguing that Durk's knowledge of the murder-for-hire situation and the potential that he was somehow involved or complicit makes him too dangerous to be released. The judge, who had previously seemed open to leniency, is now said to be reevaluating everything. Requests for hearings have been postponed. Bond offers retracted. In short, the road to freedom just got blocked, and the man behind the wheel may not be able to reverse. The legal community is in shock. Lawyers close to similar cases, are saying they've rarely seen something spiral out like this. One moment, an artist is gearing up for release, and the next, he's sitting alone, marked endangered, and with a case that's been thrown back into chaos. It's a nightmare scenario, and it's playing out in real time. But perhaps the most haunting part of it all is this. We don't know what happens next. There are whispers that the leak came from someone within law enforcement, perhaps a rival agency unhappy with how the case was being handled. Others believe it was an intentional move by prosecutors to test the loyalty of Durk's circle or to provoke a reaction. And some believe the streets themselves did it, that someone close to Durk wanted to burn him down from the inside, and this was their way of turning up the heat.